are back for part 2.
Right.
Same night, same channel. But now Nick gets to answer the question.
We were just saying off camera, this is, I'm starting my 6th year here, and all my training's been here. But I'd probably say my training really started 8 years ago when my son came here. That's how I was exposed to it, trying to find something for him to do athletically, and we thought about martial arts. And I think he was maybe 12 at the time, 13 maybe. And went to a couple, my wife took him and we checked out a few places. She checked out a jiu-jitsu place. She checked out, it was just a judo school. I don't even know what's there.
Wow, you guys found a judo school?
I think it was a judo school, if I'm not mistaken. But it just didn't seem like something that he would have the focus for. And then because of the, I guess maybe the, the older style of teaching, the more traditional Eastern way of teaching a martial art, wasn't for a kid that didn't have the, necessarily the focus for something like that. He needed something that was going to have a lot of movement.
Yeah, give him a lot of stimulus.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So my wife came home and she said, I found this. It's called Krav Maga. She called it. I was like, I have no idea what that is, but immediately I looked it up and I'm like, oh wow, it sounds cool. And she says, she goes, Mike. She said the owner, Mike, said, send your husband back, something to that effect too. Let him check it out. And Nicholas liked him right away, liked the school right away, and I came back and I was like, oh, I love this place. And from day one, Hanshi was telling me, I think you should get out there. I'm like, no. And really at the time, my schedule didn't allow it. I had a job that I was traveling and working crazy hours. Sometimes not getting home till 9 o'clock at night, so I could usually just get here to see Nicholas's Saturday classes. He'd come like 1 or 2 during the week and then on a Saturday. So I'd watch through the window when I was here, and then I would talk to Hanshi, at length. And what a fascinating, he's the reason that I started this journey. And well, anyway, fast forward 2 years down the road, Nicholas was getting kind of tall, and Chris Rosati kept saying to me that he thought he should go in the adult class. And my son was saying to me, well, why don't you come with me? Because he was a little bit nervous going with the adults.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
And even though he was a big kid, it's a whole different world. So I'm like, all right, sure. And Hanshi said to me, he goes, something to the effect that he goes, you're in good shape, he says, but still take it slow. He says, you're going in fairly good shape. And I guess I was, because the job that I had at the time was pretty physical. When I had now is as well. So, but that too speaks to my nature in terms of I like activity also. And
I like hard work.
Yeah, I've always loved hard work, and I've trained. I've weightlifted throughout the weight trained through different stages of my life. I was really into running for a long time. I love mountain biking, did a lot of that, and just I'm an active person, and I've always had pretty active jobs that involve that movement. So this to me, I started training, and it was just like I wanted to get through one thing at a time, one class at a time. One
step at a time. I know.
One complete rep of an exercise at a time, just a warm up. Bang out the 20 push-ups without feeling like you're going to black out. And then it just was one little obstacle at a time. And by then there was just something about I started to get into the whole mind game of it, and the no mind game of it, and then the whole philosophical side of it, and how it made me feel, and the endorphin release at the end of class, and just the concentrated learning, and learning from a master, which is Hanshi, and who said to me once, watch how Kenzo hits the bag. That guy Kenzo, watch him, how he hits the bag. He hits the bag and he moves. He doesn't stand still. He hits the bag. It's not a bag when he's hitting the bag. He's fighting somebody, and that stuck with me. And I remember that not long later, it stuck with me. You and I were, I guess, light sparring, and I experienced my first hammer fist. I remember it was over there, and because I just remember you spinning, and then I just remember having the heavy bag in front of me, saying, how did I get to this side of the heavy bag? So that was one of, the first of, well, not the
learning
first, I got hit in the head a few times before that, but anyway, so it just.
That one was memorable.
Yeah, and then, when Hanshi retired and you took the business, you brought in something that I always, once I started training, I guess I was maybe 2 years into it at that point, 2.5 years into it at that point. I wanted, I love Krav and everything about it. But I also wanted to go back to some of its roots, some of the different forms of martial arts. And Hanchi fascinated me because, he was, well, he's trained in so many different things, but, his Okinawan martial art background, and then yours as well. And then when those guys came here and started training, and you started offering Ryukyu Kempo, I was all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Me and a couple other guys were, loved it. And we went with it for as long as the school could sustain it, but then it eventually, it's great, it still happens here on a Sunday, and I recommend that for anyone. And I want to get back to that as schedule allows. But it was just, for me, the thing that kept me here was that, and then that other aspect of that formal discipline, and then seeing where those things occur within Krav Maga. People, I think, other martial artists that don't know Krav, their first tendency is to say, oh, it's quick and it's easy, and well, it's not. And there's a lot of complexity and there's a lot of technique. And at least where I've learned it, here from Hanchi, and then through you, and then through the other instructors, Drago and Chris Rosati, and Raul,
and
then other guys that come. Yeah, the people I've trained with, everyone that's here.
Mm-hmm.
You get pieces of where is this coming from, and be able to do the Kempo showed me that a lot of the technique, where it's rooted. And it was just another layer of detail, another way of learning, another deeper understanding, and then another kind of being able to be free from that, and made my Krav Maga better.
Mm-hmm.
It made my Krav Maga more natural. So
now you see why I went in the path of what I did. I was able to do the karate training before the Krav Maga.
Right.
And now
Yeah, so I doubled back on the karate a little bit. I've got a ways to go. I'm only an orange belt, beginner, very beginner. But I still try to do kata. In fact, we were doing it with Raul last week, or 2 weeks ago. We were doing the hachi katas here. So, and every time I do it, I think I see more and more things that are just part of the technique that I use when in sparring, or I haven't sparred in a while, but just when I do my bag work, or even when we're just training with partners. You see the, and that means we're running out of time. But anyway, that's my journey. That's why I'm here. I love it, and it was the ability to overcome any obstacle, which the mind is the strongest obstacle in your way of this. So get out of your mind's way.
All right, guys, there you have it. There's a little in-depth conversation with Kenzo and Nick.
Yep, we'll see you next time.
Stay tuned for the next one.